All right, here's what's interesting, folks. We've got the price of oil falling fast. In fact, crude oil here and crude oil that's traded around the world is down a couple of percent. For more on the latest developments, bring in CNBC contributor and RBC head of global commodities markets, Helima Croft. Helima, are you surprised that oil is not only down, but down so much?
Down this much. I think it's a combination of President Trump tweeting that he wanted, drill, baby, drill, lower oil prices. And so I think the market believes Trump get what he wants when it comes to oil. Also, there's a strong section of the market that has been waiting for evidence of off-ramp. And so they're looking at the firing on this base in Qatar as a repeat of what happened in 2020. When in response to the U.S. killing of Qasem Soleimani, the Iranians fired on an Iraqi base housing U.S. troops. It was telegraphed in advance, and so it was the path to de-escalation. The question is, are the circumstances the same? I mean, it's happening right now in a much more fraught environment. As Fred Kemp said, it's a very dangerous situation. We have this ongoing exchange of fire between the Israelis and the Iranians. We've just had the U.S. airstrike. So the question is, are we in the same type of moment that we saw with Qasem Soleimani? I can tell you, I was actually flying to a conference Fred was organizing in Abu Dhabi right when they were firing on those bases. We still flew through UAE airspace. We did not, was not closed.
It's closed now, according to Flight Radar. Yeah.
So, obviously Qatari airspace is closed. UAE airspace is closed. So again, I'm not sure we're in the exact replica of what we saw in 2020, but I think the market is looking for an off-ramp. As many people were saying yesterday, the worst is behind us.
What does that mean, off-ramp?
That essentially the Iranians can say, okay, we're done for now. Again, I think the scale of what has happened to the Iranians is very different than in 2020. Then it was just Qasem Soleimani, obviously very important leader in the IRGC, head of Quds Force. The question is, is Iran in its last gasp of the regime? Is this the regime essentially a significant warning shot to the United States? Do they have anything left in terms of ability to target our assets in the region? The one thing I will tell you from conversations in Washington last week is that there is a concern that Iran does retain a significant stockpile of short to medium range missiles. And so if they do want to target infrastructure in the Gulf, you would use those missiles. Long range missiles have been used against Israel. That stockpile is depleting, but they apparently do have a significant stockpile of these short range missiles.